I work for the Department for Education and Child Development as an apprenticeship broker. Part of that role includes partnerships with community programs. I'm really privileged to be part of those programs. The Pichi Railway Preservation Society itself has, since the early 2000s, been involved in a partnership with the Quorn Area School that has been very much a part of developing our young people. Just many of you will know the Pichi Railway, but just a little bit of history around it. The railway from Port Augusta through the Pichi Pass to Quorn opened in 1879 and was part of the first stage of the Great Northern Railway that was intended to link Port Augusta and Darwin. In 1929, this line reached Alice Springs. The east-west transcontinental railway across the Nullarbor Plain was completed in 1917, and the Pichi Railway became part of the east-west route for the next 20 years. Quorn was a vital railway junction, especially during World War II, when military personnel, coal and other traffic placed a sizable demand on the railway. More recent years, if I can say 1973 as more recent years, was the beginning of the Pichi Railway Preservation Society that was developed to preserve that stretch of rail through Pichi Pass. That stretch of rail is quite picturesque. It has some great stone cuttings through there, some wonderful civil construction railway line, bridges and the like. The Pichi Railway Preservation Society has restored and operated the Pichi Railway as a working museum. Pichi has also presented a large and restored a large collection of historic locomotive, goods and passenger vehicles, restoring many of them to working order. Plug for Pichi and volunteers. Volunteers are crucial to the ongoing importance of and viability of the railway. The Society is always ready to welcome new members, and if you want to find out more about that, it's not hard to find us on the internet at pichirichirailway.org.au, and there's a section there if you're interested. We're very lucky that we have a patron of Pichi Railway Preservation Society, the Honourable Tim Fisher, former Deputy Prime Minister, of course, and a notable railway enthusiast. In the early 2000s, Quorn Area School had real concerns around how students would successfully transition from school to work. Work experience was recognised as a valuable pathway. However, there was a distinct lack of opportunity for many of our young people in that region. Out of these concerns, a partnership developed between Pichi Railway and the Quorn Area School. The Pichi Railway Preservation Society worked in collaboration with the Quorn School to provide work experience opportunities within the Society's operations. Since the early days, the partnership between Quorn Area School and the Preservation Society has blossomed, and I mean blossomed. The Trade Training Centre has formal recognition at state and federal government levels. It has significant support, or has had significant support, through the NAB Schools First project, and has worked in partnership with the Flinders Ranges Council to achieve common goals that have been beneficial to all of us. The Quorn Area School, let's do this. The Quorn Area School and the Pichi Railway partnership was inspirational and has developed into the Pichi Trade Training Centre that was officially opened by Senator Alex Gallagher back in 2013, where students gain accredited training and a broad range of vocational experiences that they otherwise may not encounter. The Pichi Trade Training Centre offers students the opportunity to be involved in real projects that will benefit their community. An example of this is the Visitor and Interpretive Centre in Quorn. On the slide there is the opening day there, and you might notice a few politicians in amongst that crowd, including Rowan Ramsey and Dan Van Hospellicon. Supported by a grant from the Federal Government Department of Sustainability, Environment, Water, Pollution and Communities, the Pichi Railway volunteers and the Trade Training Centre students from Quorn and Hawker area schools worked with the Flinders Ranges Council to see the upgrade of the railway station. The grant conditions required matching dollar-for-dollar contributions by the Society and the Flinders Ranges Council. The majority of the Pichi Railway contribution came from in-kind labour. Many thousands of hours went into that project, and also the labour from our Trade Training Centre student volunteers. It's been a very successful project, and it has involved all levels of government, engaged the community and helped the Pichi Railway with much needed infrastructure while contributing to the economic and prosperity of the region. The station operates as a visitor information and interpretive centre, and we have a ticket box office there too for the Railway Preservation Society. The Pichi Railway and the Quorn Area School Trade Training Centre partnership were recognised in the National Australia Bank Schools First program some years back, winning a local and state recognition. The Schools First award resulted in $100,000 of funding from the National Australia Bank that went towards the building of a classroom and camp kitchen in the rail yard. And when I say the building of it, the $100,000 went towards the materials. All the labour and the actual construction of the building was done by volunteers and our Trade Training Centre students. The building, it was built from start to finish by volunteer students, and when I mean start, I mean from bare dirt to the finished product. The construction of the building took place over several years. Over this period, each school term, students and volunteers would work together on the project, but effectively, in real time, it actually took 9 weeks to construct that building and landscape and pave the surrounding area, which was a great effort. Our students really value the program. It's girls and boys working together with the volunteers to achieve outcomes that often go well beyond the expectations of our young people. The strength of our program is in the quality of the instruction that the students receive. Pictured here is Quorn Area School's design and technology teacher, Travis McDonald, giving instruction to a student on the Kanga Digger. Travis, alongside another key member, Chris Dunbar, who is now a retired TAFE lecturer and was head of the School of Building and Furnishing, worked with other very, very well-regarded and highly skilled volunteers to deliver a wide range of skills and experience to our students that attend the Trade Training Centre. Many of the young people have gained machine operation tickets for things like front-end loader, backhoe and skid steer. All have gained a white card, which is the prerequisite to gaining work on a building site, and many have successfully completed certificates in building and furnishing. Our young people are willing to work hard and soon gain a great appreciation of the need for cooperation and teamwork. The Pichi program provides important soft skills that enable students to more readily move to further training and employment. Alastair Keller is one of our past students at the Pichi Trade Training Centre. He is pictured here front right, working on track with a team of students from Bullaroo Centre District School. During his senior school years at Bullaroo Centre District School, Alastair undertook a school-based apprenticeship on the Bastion Farm just out of Bullaroo. In 2012, he was recognised in the South Australia Training Awards as a South Australian School-Based Apprentice of the Year. Later that year, we ventured across to Melbourne for the Australian Training Awards, where he was also named as the Australian School-Based Apprentice of the Year. He's done a lot of wonderful things, this lad. He's currently working down in York Peninsula as a stock agent. Jaden Tree is from Hawker Area School and another student that has made the most of the experience in the Pichi Trade Training Centre. He commenced his career journey as a school-based apprentice electrician with a local contractor in Hawker. I might add, he actually completed his South Australian Certificate of Education while still in year 11 because of the value of the vocational training that he received and the recognition that they gave him. Young Jaden was recognised in 2013 as the South Australian School-Based Apprentice of the Year at the SA Training Awards. He's recently completed his apprenticeship. I met with him late last year down at the Lakes at West Lakes and had a quiet beer with him, and it was really enjoyable to hear the success that young man has had. He completed his apprenticeship with ICE Engineering. Jaden worked on the upgrade of the Quorn Railway Station as a student in the Pichi Richi Trade Training Centre. Many young people have benefited from the time in the Trade Training Centre and gained employments in the fields from basically banking to building and everything in between you might want to imagine.